Here's Mike Duggan. Mr. Mayor, welcome to Off the Record. Nice to see you. Let's assume that you're governor.
So now Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan wants to be Michigan Governor Mike Duggan. And every time I see one of those softball interviews on TV or read a puff piece in a national newspaper, it reminds me of one of those old scratch-and-sniff photographs of a country farm. Smells like bullshit. Let me show you.
Mayor, what is the biggest issue facing Michiganders right now?
Our kids can't read. I mean, the schools are just terrible.
And the kids in Detroit can't read the most. Ha! Gay! Duggan's been mayor of Detroit for 12 years, and we've still got the worst urban school district in America. And now Duggan wants to be put in charge of every Michigan school kid.
And look what's happened in the last 12 years. We brought the factories back. We got the street lights on.
Actually, Detroit's finances are a mess. I mean, even a blind man can see it. After blowing through $1 billion Biden bucks, Detroit's revenues are now falling. Meanwhile, public safety contracts are coming due. And somebody stole $40 million for this park right under our noses. It's so bad, the city's considering a sales tax on suburbanites.
The Census Bureau and I are now in agreement on the last 2 years on the counts, and we gained about 5,000 2 years ago, 7,000 last year, led the state of Michigan.
That's just because the census changed the way it counts.
Well, duh.
That means almost every metro area in America gained population. Except Frisco. Poor Frisco. Now take a look at downtown Detroit at night. It's dark. Either these buildings are half empty or no one can afford their electricity bills. And this apartment building owner, he's going bankrupt. Help me.
We're done with this conversation.
Then there's crime. Nobody's asking Mike about crime because Mike's making up the crime numbers. It's kind of a big deal now in D.C., but Mike had 300 bodies go missing from the homicide count in the last 10 years. Are you going to ask him that? You don't need to ask him that. I already proved that. Want to be my governor, Mike? Good luck. But let me tell you about the whole dark art of politics, which consists of dishonesty and distortion cooked up in a cauldron of naive headlines. Behold these headlines. Governing Magazine. Meet America's most effective mayor, Detroit's Mike Duggan. Or this one from the New York Times. Downtown Detroit is back. Or this one from the Business Traveler. From bankruptcy to boomtown. Why Detroit is a must visit. Now, the establishment has milked everything it could out of our absentee sorority girl, Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Now it appears the money class is attempting through its media minions to set the table for 8 years of machine boss Mike Duggan, the turncoat Democrat, now making a run for the governorship of Michigan as an independent. Incensed Democratic leaders tell me that they promised to beat Duggan's political career to death with his own record as the bludgeon, and there's plenty of wood in that bludgeon. Now, things have improved since Duggan took office in 2014, while an emergency manager, mind you, fixed the books and the lights and steered the city through its historic bankruptcy. How could things not improve in a city that had completely bottomed out? But look beyond the gossamer headlines and you'll see the threadbare furniture in the parlor. Detroit's population is growing, reversing a 75-year trend. Yes, Detroit grew by about 6,000 people in 2024, but this is mostly due to an influx of illegal immigrants and the fact that the Census Bureau simply changed the way it calculates population. Now, nearly 90% of all American metro areas recorded population gains under this new math. Even troubled megalopolises like New York City and Los Angeles, both of which I used to live in, love those places. And even with this new estimating methodology, Detroit has lost 43,000 residents since Duggan took office, a stunning 6% drop. Now the headline, downtown is back. You know what I say? The truth is there are less people living in downtown Detroit than downtown Cleveland. Just read the work of J.C. Rendell, the last honest reporter in town. Rendell recently wrote in the Detroit Free Press that a number of new apartment developments in the city are in receivership due to a lack of jobs downtown and thus renters living downtown. Another headline, Detroit records lowest number of homicides in 60 years. Huh, Randall? Woo! Pop your champagne, because one less life lost is always a good thing, and the number of homicides has indeed been steadily falling in Detroit, as it has across the country. But Detroit, as I've reported here, has been cooking its homicide stats for years. Through the first 10 years of the Duggan administration, 300 homicide victims simply disappeared through statistical alchemy and reclassification. That's 10%. Even so, Detroit still has the fourth highest homicide rate in America, worse than Washington, D.C., and it remains a top 5 most violent city. So what about the neighborhoods? Detroit ranked the number 1 riverfront, is that right? Riverfront walk? The number 1 riverfront walk in America, number 1. I don't know how they bought that one, because the New York Times invites you to visit the new Centennial Park, and I'm quoting here, a lush 22 acres along Detroit's revitalized West Riverfront. But the problem is with that, New York Times never came here to look at it, because the park today is still a muddy construction zone because someone embezzled $40 million right under the city's nose. I could go on and on and on, and I will, as Election Day grows closer, when the Democrats start airing grainy black and white videos of Duggan's biggest scandals. The worst public schools in the country, the city's crumbling finances, the poisoned dirt in the federal grand jury, sweetheart deals and public dollars to his political contributors and current wife. Remember that one? Remember the booty call? Rich Republicans donate to the Wizard of Woodward because the Wiz has made them even wealthier. Little of this has made it into the news pages. Not yet. Man, this magic act is a thing to behold.